You guys, welcome to another interesting episode of the Spirit Show. If you've been with us this far, we appreciate you. If you are yet to subscribe, please subscribe to the YouTube channel so that we can keep doing more of these kinds of things. Today, my guest is somebody I respect a lot. He's a great guy, full of energy, highly intelligent, and so many new things that I've just come to find out about him. I present to you the delectable Chef Taylor.
Thank you. I know what.
So this is the time where I get to you look. You know, the whole time I was looking at the camera.
Okay.
Now maybe I'll be looking at you and then we'll be having a conversation.
All right.
So tell me, Chef Taylor.
Yeah.
Why Chef Taylor?
Because I'm a chef.
That's obvious, right?
Yes.
Because you're a chef.
Yeah.
So that leads me to my first thoughts. Like, how did the whole interest about cooking and even leading on to becoming a chef, how did it come about?
Yeah. So growing up, I grew up with a dad who loves to cook. My dad is the ultimate foodie. Learning from him when he cooks is like super good. I don't know if I'm supposed to use the word badass here, but
it's fine.
yes.
It's fine.
Yeah, he's like totally badass, right? And then he understands flavors a lot. I mean, whenever he would make us go to specific markets to buy specific ingredients, let's say chicken from a particular market, and then we're grumbling, go and get this spice from this space. And then now as an adult, as a chef, it makes sense, right? Because flavors and all of those things, like they're very key. There's specific places you get certain things made a certain way for you to get set. It's like math, right? And he's the OG, really. So him, and I was always in the kitchen. My mom would always beat me for being in the kitchen. But my dad would support me being in the kitchen, you know. And then I grew up from like a very large home. My dad is one of those that like, you know what, everybody come. We'll train you through school. So we had like people in and out of our house. So we have people around, they're cooking, I'm in the kitchen, you know, and I just picked up interest, you know. Secondary school, we're food and nutrition, OG at it, you know, went to uni, my house, everybody's camped there because 247, you know, I'm cooking. I finish uni, I'll just be posting on my Snap. And Olamide used to be on my Snap then. And he's like, guy, you just need to be chef. Like, guy, start a business. Like, he keeps like nudging me. And then in 2016, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And like, before then, I started like planning towards the end of the year, go a business manager, you know, sought advice, like did the whole strategy and everything. I like saw the plan. And the rest is history, they say.
I think that one of the things you said, which shows in you, like the Chef Taylor that I know, is that your house, people are always coming. And that is one thing I know about you. Like, it's one of the things that even caught my attention because this guy is always trying to bring people together. I'll tell you for free. Like, I'll ask about the business shortly, but one of the things when I came to your first business, like restaurant,
The Colony.
in my head, I was like, how is this guy making money? Because he's always doing stuff to just bring people together and all of. So tell me about the Colony.
Yeah, so that as well is my dad. These weekends, Saturdays in my house, we dread it. Sundays, we dread it because everybody's in the house. So there's food, my dad will stock up on drinks and everybody's cooking around the clock and we're always having guests. But there's one thing about bringing people together because I tell people social currency, human currency is they will tell you I'm like super rich because of human relationship and I know how far that has actually played a part. So when I'm always bringing people together most times, it's actually like an investment. So I actually do see it as an investment. So the more I foster a relationship, the more I bring people together, the more I actually am able to like build on my network and also able to grow, right? So, I mean, people would always remember that guy that always make them feel good and always have a great time. Whenever there's anything they think about you, right? And then the Colony was, when I moved to Abuja, like 2017, like a few months literally after, I launched in December and in January I moved to Abuja for NYC, and as a Christian, I'd prayed, and I told God, wherever I post for NYC, where I'm going to dwell. I was posted to Adamawa, and I will go redeploy to Abuja. I did not leave immediately. There was a whole fracas that happened in Adamawa as well with the airline, where I protested an airline. I laid on the tarmac and refused a plane taking off. People don't see that side of me. Yeah, for real, check it out. Yeah, so that of like I was Insta blog, all of the press. So that sort of like propelled me forward a bit. And then on Twitter, whenever I make meals, because I do make Afrofusion, because I'm curious about food and I'm always taking new ingredients, new flavors to try and make them better. And I post them and people drag me on Twitter and like my mind, they don't know that the dragging was adding, it was adding to it, right? And then my second business manager at the time, you know, when I was planning to have my pop-up, because like I said, investing, I wanted to have a pop-up and not necessarily even because of profit because Abuja is a tough market to break into.
Yeah.
But once you just break into it, that's the end. And I needed people to see, you know what, I'm capable. I'm here to, take a bite of this cake, and whatever I get, I manage and I keep growing. And I decided that, when I was praying, looking for a name, I was thinking of different names, scrambling and writing and praying and praying. And then I think one day it just hit me, the colony. Sorry. And the word really is I'm going to make, wherever I go to,
A gathering.
because my colony really, I'm going to colonize the whole space, right? And that's how it came about. So the pop-up happened and we're sold out. And the way it happened, because I put in so much work, I went on radio, went on TV, the blogs, the whole 9 years promoting. For me I was doing all of this things because of the marketing side of things. I wasn't really expecting so many people to show up. But as God will always do it, bless the work of your hand. You work hard, you pray, He will bless it. The way it happened, you're like, okay, we're not expecting a turnout. Just chilled. At least you've done your prayer and everything. And then church, people that finished just at 9 a.m. were showing up. And I'm like, I was like scrambling because I wasn't expecting it. I expected people, at most 20 people. That was victory for me. To be very honest, we had it at SV Chrome then. That was victory enough for me. Well, then we had well over 100 people. At some point, our service was crumbling. My business manager was scrambling, going to the market to go and stop. Because we did not plan for that turnout, but God just had his way of just doing his own thing. I remember Bonelli and Austin Peters, Auntie B, she was around. They're having, I think, Waka the Music at that same period. And then I went for one of the days, even before the pop-up, and coincidentally I met her brother, Oba. I'm like, I have a pop-up coming, she get invited. And the next thing, he tells Auntie B, and then she shows up, she brings the cast and crew. Then there's one old school union that's happening, some group of elderly guys, they get wind of the pop-up happening, all of them. It was just chaos. It was just, at some point, I was overwhelmed.
How did you feel?
It was a good feeling, but all I was just feeling throughout was just, you this guy.
Yeah.
That was the feeling, that was the feeling throughout, and to be honest, that's actually like my first million,
Wow.
That was actually the first time. And then ever since then, Iris Hotel offered me a job. Then a month later, SV Chrome, the European chef was leaving, and they were like, what, that guy that one day alone, look at the numbers he pulled, let's have him. And then they doubled what Iris was paying me, dragged me in, and since then, everybody's saying about Chef Taylor. So different hotels, different restaurants, all kept on trying to poach me. Yeah. But when I knew I needed to really start my own gig was when the company wanted me to go to Spain, the Spain office. But they wanted to tie me to a 5-year contract or 8 year. My mind, I did not take the gig. And to date, I don't think I have any regrets because my mind is like, they are trying to take my prime. Like, there's something these people are seeing in me that are trying to. Yeah, I'm like, what? I wouldn't take it. And then I pulled out, go on that gig, but I started then I opened my first pop-up, my first restaurant, it's Adventure Spark. And I was shuttling both the restaurant and my job. It was a bit dicey.
How was that?
It was chaotic. Because there are times where I would have to leave the office and drive down there, check in on this thing and go back. And it was in Venture Sparks, so it was thriving, and I was always having activations and, like I said, always trying to get people together on weekends, on weekdays, It was chaotic. At some point, I had to leave my job and then focused on it. And then we had to shut down by the end of the year. At the same time, I was like, God, prayer as always.
Yeah.
Then we opened Wusetu, and then
Wusetu was crazy. I remember. I remember 2 or 3 times I had come there. The first time I remember vividly seeing Jide. He was one of the people that I quickly recognized, and I'm like, the whole of Abuja is here. Yeah. And when I sat down and I just observed the customer experience, I was like, no, this is this is what this guy has got right. But would you say, for example, you were working, you mentioned that you had a pop-up at Ventures and then you had a job. Did having a job give you any sense of, did it make it any easier to run the pop-up, or did it make it, apart from the stress of shuffling the two? Because sometimes somebody could say, I have a job, at least at the end of the month. I am sure that this is coming.
Yeah.
Did it make it any easier, or if you were to do it again, you would just go straight to your business?
So, yes, the plot twist. That job, I paid for the job. Because it's always good to plan. Sometimes change your plan, change your vision, but always be prayerful, like I always would say. I needed a 1 year experience and I asked God for it.
Wow.
Yes. And the way it works with me is he always give me on a platter. Every single job I got as an executive chef or the head chef. I was like, the only person I interface with is either the managing director or the general manager, or sometimes even the MD directly. Those are the kind of gigs I got. And I always got them repeatedly and they're always very great pay. I was a young chap. I was how old? I was like 22 or 23, yeah, at the time. And I needed the experience. I prayed to God for 1 year experience. And when we had to shut down Adventure Spark, initially I was like, oh my God, what is all of this starting again and blah, blah, blah. And then it dawned on me like the timeline. I'm like, it's 1 year already, right? So this is what you asked for. So I needed the experience because running a business in Nigeria is not easy. But when you now like a part of a team, I'm the executive chef with barely even any experience. And then I had to lead a team of experienced people who have been in the spirit industry for a minute to get. And they all have to look up to me. I had to sit up, right? But thankful to God for the spirit of leadership. I'm able to, like, get a hang of it. What I always will just do whenever I move to a new space is I ask them what the problems are. Right. And the first thing I do is I jump into their books, I audit their books, look at their entire system, look for all of the flaws there and then fix it.
Right.
So that's what they just give me an edge. But that also now plays a part now because consulting, that's what we do. We help you fix problem, we help you avoid those problems as well. So yeah, when I do 9 to 5 again, the problem right now is, not to sound braggadocious, is if you can afford me, please. You're
making more than anybody can try to.
Yeah. So what we'll just do right now is anybody reach out to, we'll just tell you know what, let's just consult for you. That's what's best. And that's another thing again is a lot of people actually think I have multiple restaurants.
Because you're working in different places.
But they're all my
trying
clients.
To put them up.
Exactly. So it's a good thing because people would always want to go to these people because, okay, Chef T is there, it's going to be good, that kind of situation. So yeah.
Right. That makes a lot of sense because what I've heard now is a lot of people just kind of feel like they despise the time of building capacity, because you just feel like, hey, I employ people and you just see that people, without even trying to get the experience, jump off the boat. You will get the experience eventually, but I think it's harder doing that as opposed to, like you said, putting in your 1 year, 2 years, learning, and now it's effortless.
Yeah.
You can go into any system based off of the experience that you've had, and then you just troubleshoot. But there's something that there's a curiosity I want to query.
Yeah.
You are a guy, a good-looking guy. You are cooking. And in Africa, well, in this part of the world, there's a misconception that cooking is reserved to a particular gender. How did you feel starting out? Were people laughing at you? You already had your dad as a model, but going to school, how was that?
It wasn't really a thing, to be honest, because shout out to the likes of Chef Freg's, Gordon Ramsay and the rest of them. And I remember when I started off, when I go for press rounds, etc., I always would tell people, the vision is to make it cool to be a chef. And that is one thing I've always done with my brand. If you check out my Instagram, you check out my brand across the year, I make it cool. like people would look at the amount of my DMs. I want people that message there and inspiration. I want people that reach out to, what? I want my brother to be a chef. I want my younger person. Yeah. So they reach out, meet me for advice, recommend schools to them, all of this, because they're like, what? This guy is a chef. I want to be a chef. So it's something that I told myself, like, what? We're going to make it really cool. And now everybody's going to culinary school. Everybody's trying to be a chef, which is really great because 10 years, 5, 8, 9 years.
It wasn't
really like this. We had to like put in all of those efforts. I'm a chef, but I'm in Fashion Week in Lagos. I'm a chef. I'm going to these events. I'm getting invited to this. I'm dressing up because come on. Yeah, rock star. Really.
That one I give it to you.
Yeah. Thank you. So
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So beyond just trying to fend for yourself, you're trying to build the industry.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I heard from Don Jazzy in one of his interviews where he was saying, I think it was with Fisayo, where he was saying like it's beyond just trying to make money, that he's now in a place where he's trying to build the ecosystem. And I give it to you guys, yourself, Chef Rex, Chef Stone, and the rest that are, especially you and Stone in Abuja that I really know of. that are trying to build the ecosystem in Abuja. But tell me about NSAS. That I remember because you spoke about your Adama episode. I'm like, so it didn't start today.
Nah.
Tell me about NSAS. Tell me about. So when I say NSAS, I'm talking about because you have a lot of passion for Nigeria. You have a lot of passion for your business. You have a lot of passion for your friends. And that is something that anybody that pays attention can see off the bat. What was your role in, because I mean, my guys have written down that you sort of used food to protest during NSAS. Tell me about it.
So even before the whole NSAS situation, when the whole herdsmen Fulani crisis, started, I'm from Benue State. So you can imagine, I think it's one time they want to attack my village, I'm not mistaken, and you're hearing, X person has been killed, this village, it becomes annoying. I remember when doing the BBC, I had an interview with the BBC, which even caught their attention, was at my restaurant at the Colony, when the whole herdsmen thing started, we stopped selling beef.
Wow.
Yeah, it was actually an act of protest. We were not serving beef at the restaurant. You can have any other protein, because if it's the beef that's going to make them go and kill somebody, I'm not going to buy it. Yeah, so that's where it started from. And then for a while, we're going at it. Even we had this BBC talk on, and they were intrigued by it, right? Even with Arise and all those guys, they come around and like, yes, I would be able to speak up, because I grew up from a home where you are not allowed to trample on other people.
Yeah.
And whenever you see anybody being trampled upon, we will speak up. I see my mom, I see my dad. Like, I can be driving by and you could just see police, let's say, stop people illegally at the time, and my mom will pull up. What's the issue? What's the problem? Most times in Nigeria, it's just probably like illegal or something out of the block. And she's making phone calls. She don't know this way from anywhere. She's making phone calls to try to sort it out, And whenever, let's say, growing up in Lagos, you're coming out of the bank, they send you for a transaction, that'll go make a deposit, go do this, and then you're coming and police is going to accost you because they're assuming a fraud. And unless I'm going to make a scene, I would make a scene. I'll ask you, why are you stopping me? And I'll gather people to come.
And you're not afraid though?
Bro, you're scared, but you have to be very confident, right? You're like, yo, guys, will come and see this. But I would make a scene. So there are weaknesses around, right? Yeah. And most time, you see people are gauging because what they know is illegal. They just bail. Or sometimes they will do strong hair. They carry you. They're innocent, right? So over time, that had built up. I went to military school. And then NSAS happened. And it's something that had always just irked me. I never really liked the police. Not like the police per se, but the corruption in the police, right? I mean, we're all Nigerians. At this point, corruption is part of our DNA, but you should try to fight it.
So I feel embarrassed hearing that.
Yeah, it's not the best feeling, but we have to try to fight it. And then NSAS started, and then the protest started, and I'm lending my voice, and I'm posting about it, and I'm monitoring the situation. And then I realized that some really brave people will go out to protest the first day. They shot at them, tear gas them. The second day, they told them like, nope, because they were being resilient. The Nigerian system, it shoots a bunch of guys, through tear gas, it quells them. If it happens the first day, the second day people see pull up, they told them like, nope, it's going to be beyond posting on social media. And even till now, there are still people that always tell me, don't say this, that your brand. Nah, I don't care. Even during the election, I'll tell you, even during the election period, I said, if me taking a stand for Nigeria is what's going to make you not to patronize me, then please don't. I don't want your money, right? At the end of the day, like it or not, even people in the APC government have done business with a bunch of them. They've paid me for gigs. It doesn't really change anything per se, really. Yeah. But they know I say speak up. I know gigs that I've lost because they've asked me to renounce political. I was part of the PDP. You go through my Instagram, you see me speaking at political rallies in Lagos. As part of the youth leader, I'm speaking, charging up people and whatnot. Because I've always been passionate about the country. Because we need to get it right. You leave Nigeria and like, God,
fresh of breath.
Yeah, it's like, what is, like, you will be upset. You go on holidays, you're upset for a huge part of it because you're like, what is King Bobo rubbish? That
brought out the Yoruba
because it's like, what is all of this, right? And it ends up happening, and we're out there taking food, taking drinks, protesting, cleaning up. I was sunburnt.
Yeah, I like the cleaning up part.
God.
I think you were one of the people that spearheaded that in Abuja.
I was sunburnt.
Aside from being one of the people that also stirred the fire in Abuja.
Because
it was going down.
Yeah.
And then it went back up.
Every day, my phone, people are texting me, calling me, where are you? Where are we meeting up? Where's the location? After NSAS, I had to go off the grid. I kid you not, because there were talks of me being, part of it, because I have family in intelligence and whatnot,
Yeah.
and they were all panicking, like, yo, like, what have you done? Like get off the grid. I had to disconnect my phones so they cannot track me. Obviously, they know where you are, but then one interesting thing that happened was the Commonwealth reached out to me. As, they looked for 20 leaders of the whole NSAS movement, blah, 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 and I was listed amongst them. How did they get me? That's the problem, right? We had like a quiet meeting, virtual, and the next time they sent a letter signed by the something. But it was like, in my mind, I'm like, if the Commonwealth is knowing about me, then best believe the Nigerian government, and it became a problem. And then I was like, at that point, I was scared. But I was honored, but was scared. And then I reached out, back channeled, and they told me it was Chatham rules are going to apply because the Nigerian government were going to be in that meeting, right? Because at that point, they were, trying to dilly-dally, trying to backchat, the massacre did not happen, we've understood what you guys want. They're trying to play you guys. But at the same time, we already had a target on our back. What is going to stop the Nigerian government being Nigerian government by, going to even target us? Because I know then, like so in Pamela, my friends and the rest of them being, their accounts are being frozen. Those are guys in Lagos. We in Abuja were threatening.
They were coming to you people.
And then they told us, but what gave me the assurance really was they told, by the time I reached out was, if after this event, these people come after you, they were going to just take us out. Like they literally, that was the assurance I had. Like, if for any reason, I said, okay, fine. So be it. And went and we're spilling our mind and we're, talking but after everything just like died down. But it was just really tragic, right? And considering yesterday to today, it was just, I'm like,
so I think one of the things that is important to also put out is that you were one of those people that didn't just advocate on social media, go on the streets. You also actually tried to do something. You were one of the people that said, you know what, I remember you reached out, we formed like a group.
Sensation for a New Nigeria.
I've been trying to remember the name of that stuff where we were now trying to sensitize people. This was 3 years ago, ahead of
the election.
The election.
We were going to the market and everything.
And I really thought that was great, but while I was trying to put my head together for this conversation today, then something hit me. One of my guys said, he's a lawyer. And I'm like, what? I didn't know that about him. Tell me about that.
Yes, I'm a lawyer. But I'm not practicing clearly. I mean, like they always would tell people, you cannot be a lawyer in Nigeria. Just face it. Let's call a spade a spade. We're in a very, very lawless society. And as a lawyer, even if you're going to thrive in Nigeria, let's say you're probably just doing like commercial law, company law,
corporate law,
or just something, and you're always going to be, they might drag me for this, but there's always some level of shady deals you've been involved with, helping people hide money and all of those things. And as this young lawyer, you're going to yen it's the truth, right? You will see shege, except you start your own firm. Most of my friends started their own firms and they're thriving because they're like, the clients they have are like young millennials and Gen Zs like yourself who are business owners as well. It's crazy. So why be in a sector whereby a huge chunk of the people, they are just doing it because their family have pressured them because you're in Africa.
Right.
And then you're just turning a lot of people out and then you're going there to a system where judges are corrupt. You can buy them. You can buy. What is the essence?
Wait, were you called to bar?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I was just going to say, all this what you're saying, they'll just go and retrieve
I don't care. No, shame. I'll just say, take it. It's all yours.
Right.
Yeah.
And, talking about resilience and all of that, I've seen you try different things. One of the things I really like about you is your resilience and your go-getter spirit. Anything you put your head to, even if they tell you you will die, right? You prefer to find out. I think a year or so ago, I just saw Christopher
Taylor.
I'm like, what is he up to again? What is he up to again? What happened to this? So tell me about your fashion line and then how you've been able to manage your career as a chef and then the fashion thing.
Okay. Story. As always. So, after COVID, after the lockdown, I realized, because I always try to be like 2-3 steps ahead at every time. And of all the things that the biggest mistake or things I did not put ahead of time was diversifying my portfolio.
Right.
Yeah, so I was very much in the the restaurant hospitality space for a minute, and I forgot to diversify my portfolio. If you knew me then in uni, I had a fashion brand called Tamot Creations.
Right.
Yeah, so I was like a fashion, had like a fashion brand then. And I started off there, and obviously I let it go because of I had an award show and then all of those stuff. And I've always been a fan of leather, like bags and shoes and whatnot. And so I decided, when that'll be the best time to come back,
Right.
into the space. But it took me almost a year. But behind the scenes, COVID, I had my startup in the Colony Market, which we created, like a store,
Marketplace for
to shop and everything.
I
And
remember
then
that.
people were going through a lot at that period. So I reached out to my friend Tunji, who owns Lender, and then we said to offer credit to people. You can shop on credit and you can pay us later, because that period people were going through it. And then we had like a 20 million grant, give like rebates. And then each time you shop, we're converting the cash, it's percentage of your profits pretty much to give back to people who cannot even afford to shop via gift fund. So there's a whole system working. By the point it crashed clearly because at some point, Nigeria did. And purchasing power really wasn't keeping up, and then we had to become more stringent with our lending rules, so that really did not work out. So we just, shut down the whole project. Therefore, Christopher Taylor is named after my dad, because my dad is actually Taylor Christopher Odeje. So his initials is TC Odeje. So I'm Taylor, my other brother is Christopher. My dad's name is Taylor Christopher. So Christopher Taylor is actually named after my dad. Right. And then, I got guys in Lagos, I got guys in Kano, and I got guys here in Abuja. So we did a couple of samples, delivery time, turnaround and whatnot. And they had like different designs. And then we shipped to these guys and they made samples and then we started posting about it. And I launched it on my birthday, I think 2021.
Yeah.
Yes. 2021, yes. Yeah. That's when I launched it. And then it's just been thriving.
What do you think about Abuja? Like living in Abuja, you've been here maybe 5 years or 6 years now?
About, let me see, 6 years now, yeah.
6 years now. What do you think about Abuja?
I love Abuja.
Eh?
To be honest, I love Abuja. If I wouldn't have to ever relocate, the only place I'll go to is the Middle East. Yeah, those are the only two places I think I can actually really just chill. Abuja is so chilled.
Hey, you're an Abuja fine boy. There's something about Abuja boy, especially those ones, because these days with Pepe, can I mention the brand? Pepe Grill is free. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's around Gwarimpa and Life Camp ish.
Yeah.
And we've heard some things about Abuja boys and Gwarimpa. I
don't think Gwarimpa. I grew up in Gwarimpa. My family house in Gwarimpa, but not. So Abuja is so I think what a lot of us as Nigerians, because the political class they glamorize poverty and suffering. Right. And they use the political class use the churches most especially to enforce that messaging. They tell you struggle, suffer, and then you would prosper. And then when people they are suffering because of the political class are not doing what's supposed to be done, you see it as, this is part of your journey, this is part of your struggle. And then you will make it one day. One day go better, one guy go make it. No. In a functional society, this shouldn't have happened. Yeah. Right? That's why I tell people, I don't know if any, but me, I think when I use the word on a platter, because I realize the fact that I'm not going to keep manifesting poverty and suffering. Yeah. Telling myself, this is no. So Abuja is that place where the road network is good. Everything is chilled. There's no only other place that we wake up early in the morning.
I think I know the other place you're talking about.
Lagos. You can only go to Lagos to chill. Whenever work takes me to Lagos, I always plan my schedule ahead of time. And Lagosians themselves, they're not even time conscious. I'm like, you live in a city where
time is something.
Yeah, and they will not, keep up.
Abuja, no, because it's a legitimate excuse. Traffic is a legitimate excuse. In Abuja, when you come, I was in traffic.
No, so it's not so if I'm in Lagos, for example, and because most times I probably have to go to Alaba and all these markets for my meetings to check on products, to buy equipment. I'm leaving my hotel. 6, 7 a.m. in the morning. Because I know if I leave at that time,
you'll beat the traffic.
I'll beat the traffic. I finish up everything I need to do by 12 at the latest.
And beat the traffic
coming back. If I know I have a flight to catch by 5, 6, it's best to leave my hotel between 12 and 2 o'clock. Even 2 o'clock is a risk. 1 o'clock at best, because from 2 o'clock, traffic will start building up on the island, lunch, meetings, all of those things are happening. And then if I leave at 3, 4 o'clock, is a no-go area. Because traffic on the mainland, you get, and then even on the mainland, at around, that same 3, 4 o'clock, traffic start building up, especially towards the airport, right? It's just the same thing to do, but people just decide, you know what, don't.
Is that last minute?
Nah, yeah.
Oh man, I think we can go on and on, yes, but I'm not going to keep you any longer. It's been an interesting time chatting with you. But before we go, they've given me a game that they say we should play. I've read through it. I kind of feel like I know the answers that you give, but I'll ask. It's called Would You Rather? Right? Number 1 question. Would you rather have a job that you love but pays you 300K a month, or a job that pays 30 million but you don't like?
So first of all, I had a job that I loved that was paying me 300K back in the days. 30 million naira that I don't like. What could that possibly be?
No, I think the focus is on the money.
Yeah, it's on the money. Sorry, Taylor have to be a Taylor here. I'll take a 30 million naira gig because I will find out. Yeah, no, I will find out what do I hate so much about this job and try to flip it.
I knew you were going to go for the 30 million.
That is me. I will like
when I read it, I'm like, aha, this guy's going to go for 30 million.
Because if I take the job, is something there that's annoying me. I would have to troubleshoot that problem.
Right.
Problem, bigger problem will succeed. I'm the bigger problem.
I think so. Yeah. Would you rather prepare a complex delicacy with a tight deadline or a creative freedom with a client who is uncertain about the delicacy they want?
Creative freedom.
Creative freedom.
Yeah, because every of the meal, whenever we're being contracted, the meals are like unique to you. If you say, oh, Chef T, I want to pay your service, come and cater for privately. I send you a questionnaire. I ask you a bunch of questions, but typical about your childhood, uni days, growing up, secondary school, general experiences, places we travel to. And then I pull out different ingredients and flavors around this, and then we tell a story.
Right.
So it's usually very unique to you. So when you're eating, let's say 6, 7, 5 courses, it's like, oh my God, this is inspired by this. And you see this, oh, makes sense. You're like, oh my God. Yeah. So yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Would you rather have the ability to fly or be invisible?
Fly.
Mm-hmm. Why?
I mean, who doesn't like stealth? Yeah, just why would I want to be invisible? So I'm invisible that what?
You'll be listening to people that are talking about you.
Why did I want to listen to that? Because anytime they say things about me, when I spoke about investing in like human relationship earlier, it's part of things that I get for free. Because there'll definitely always be someone who'll be in a room where they're trying to slander you, they're going to defend you and come and say this is what he said. So yeah, I read
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do random facts about you. We need 5 random facts about you. Things that they cannot be found on the internet. Social media wouldn't have told us already. 5 random facts about you.
Wahala. Let me see. I'm not Igbo. Yeah, everybody thinks I'm Igbo. I'm not. Yeah,
maybe because of the way you are going after this. I know you are. But I know that now.
Yeah, but people don't know. I'm Doma. I'm from Benue State. I'm from the North Central Middle Belt.
Middle Belt.
Yes, Middle Belt as I say now.
Let's stick to North Central.
Yeah. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love speed. Like fast cars, planes, shooting guns, arrows, all those.
Adventure things.
Yes, I like adventure. What else? Facts about me.
Yes, that's 2. It's 5.
I know, it's not on social because I'm always just like posting everything. I'm obsessed with plantain. With that, yes.
That's obvious.
No.
Anybody that follows your
God,
this will know.
Jesus Christ.
Like plantain.
Even my housekeeper. If I just say get my card, go out, he already knows what's going to get for you. Shout out to Joseph, by the way. What else? What's other interesting fact about me? That is not. He said there's no on social media.
4. You've given 3. 2 more.
You already experts for that. I'm a lawyer, clearly. Let me see. I used to drum, but not anymore. I don't
like drum.
Yeah, but not anymore.
How good were you?
Like secondary school level. Yeah, especially in church. I was
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was in church. Then I was in the band. We used to lead prayer. Also the whole shebang. What else? talking about my need for adventure and adrenaline. Everybody knows I'm in tech too as well. So I'm thinking I'm looking for something interesting.
So I heard you most of the time speak about God, your relationship with God, and praying and all of that. And I know that one thing is very common in this age and time. People are not able to reconcile being cool and being spiritual. What do you think about that?
I agree with you because people can easily stereotype you, and there are times some people that I became closer to friends, or some of my friends whereby we just go to church. They're usually very like, we go to church, and then when they come out, they're like looking at me like,
is that you?
Yeah. I kid you not. They're always looking at me like, where's the balance? Because when I'm kabashing, it's like, first of all, I grew up in MFM, so I know how to. I know how to wrestle. Do you get when it comes to prayer and going ham at it, and yeah. So a lot of people cannot exactly, get it. Right now, actually do not even have a church of worship. We were talking about activism earlier. I left my church. I don't call names.
Yeah, please don't.
Because of their general involvement with the government. They've been in bed with the government. They have a lot of pastors in the church who are,
yeah.
I'm like, never. Do you get? I cannot be a part of that kind of fellowship. I cannot. If these are your leaders, if these are people running the church and they're right in bed with the government, never. Great church. I love the church. But I cannot. And that's my stance. And now I've tried getting other churches. There's a time last year, me and a particular church, they came after me because of, I went there like 3 different times. Like I said, I was church hunting. And the first time, great, I was enjoying it up until when they became rape apologists. Tried to reach out to the church, tried to ask questions, they ignored me. The second time, talking about this whole situation of being cold and also have a relationship with God, Same, you should be able to ask questions. And by the time you speak up about like, nah, I'm not enjoying this, and then everybody comes at you, but story for another day. So it's okay. It's okay for you to be cool. As long as you're not doing anything bad. As long as you're staying by the tenets of the Bible, and ethics and morals and everything functions, you're a good person, you're kind, I feel that counts. Because they would, some people might want to misconstrue it and say, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. But if you look at the Bible, there's like a bunch of other things that you're even doing that is even part of the crime list. Do you understand? So it's quite dicey. Have a relationship with God. But you can very much also be cool. My friend Temisa is one of those persons that really I'm really excited, you get, because you can be a church baddie in
church baddie.
Yeah,
that's a new one.
Yeah, so your lifestyle should make people want to even come to God.
Yeah.
They see you're having a great time. They see you're worshiping God. Whatever it is that is there, I also want it too. Right? And don't try to be, sanctimonious and at the same time end up in a hypocrite, which is a problem for me. So yeah, I agree with you.
That's excellent. So thank you very much, Chef Taylor. This was an amazing conversation. I'm going to score points with this episode because I think because it's you, I'm freer chatting. Most of my episodes, I get into that business thing I'm talking about, but now it's just about you, and we're gisting. If you are yet to subscribe to the YouTube channel, please subscribe. Support me. Now I'm the one hosting. So support me, and your fave is here. Support to our YouTube channel, like, share. The conversations that we have on Spill It is just supposed to help one person, maybe 2. Maybe 1,000.
We'll go and pray about
it.
1 million people.
and we'll go and pray about it. That will help you find your path. There's nothing new in life. It's just a cycle. And when Taylor shares his experience, we are able to learn from it. And then we know that whenever you're in trouble, just first of all, kneel down and pray.
Yes.
And then when you pray, go and do. It was really exciting. Having this conversation with you, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
So it was a nice conversation on this episode of Spill It. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Until next time, catch you on the next episode of
Spill It. Yay! Magic fingers.